Here we go. Today we're going to talk about a wide range of shit that's going on. So before that, and yeah, I know I got the fucking Star Wars cloak on and shit. It's because our weather don't know what it wants to do with itself right now because it's gloomy outside. Too gloomy for me to be out there gardening, which is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. But at the same time, it's hot as fuck in here. I'm over here sipping coffee and shit. Feel like I'm fucking burning up. So if this is your first time to my channel, just right off the bat, just subscribe. Just don't even give yourself room for error. Just subscribe because I've been going hard all week. I've been doing album reviews. I've been cutting shorts. I've been streaming a bunch of different fucking games before this Black Ops 6 comes out next week. We've been streaming movies in the homies Discord. Shit, I'm still showing up to work on time every fucking day, grinding it the fuck out over there. So because of that, I haven't been able to really pay attention to the shit that I really usually pay attention to. But I am gonna today talk about a couple things that are pretty recent, and they're basically things that couldn't be ignored. So before that, I want to say, in addition to all the different things that I mentioned I was doing, we've also got a new logo temporarily. So this is the 10th episode of Biohazard RX. There's only 2 more episodes left. But just know this logo's not done. On the next episode, there's going to be an addition to it. So, a lot of people who aren't familiar with what I do don't really understand. So Biohazard RX is basically a series that I've been doing. I started last year. Generally, I'd say usually they're about hour and a half long episodes. Maybe a few of them happen to be longer or exceeded that. I know one of them was me talking about my whole time working in the cannabis industry. That was a really long episode, but very detailed. Talked about a lot of shit that we're still seeing happen right now. And I'm bringing that episode up because at the end of this episode, I'm going to bring up cannabis products, a deficiency I personally see in the prices and the pricing. But as you saw at the beginning of the stream, that was an original production, a Poltergeist production. I have enough tracks that are original music to be played during these whole episodes, but I don't do that. Eventually, I'm going to have a specific event/stream where an hour of that music gets played, because I know I played a big percentage of it on Twitch during a stream. But eventually this selection of music will be put on vinyl. That track that played at the beginning, that is one of the most recent songs, but that one's still unfinished, but that will feature on it. There is a process of formatting things for vinyl, and that's it being my second. It's basically going to be my second vinyl release because I have something coming out before that. But it's definitely an experiment, formatting and all that. It's something new to me, but it's something to stay tuned for. If you happen to have my Twitch or see the link at the top of my page, you can go there and get the link to the Discord. When I reach 500 subscribers, I have a second Discord that will open up. It's a Discord that's been in effect and operation for a while, but it's not open to the public until I reach 500 subscribers. So hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and just basically keep it where it needs to be. So another thing that a lot of people don't know about me is I built my computer. I know how to build computers. In the last episode of Biohazard RX, I show people how to build computers. There's a reason for that. My streams run smoothly. I like it to stay like that. I like the transitions to be smooth. I don't need all the crazy bells and whistles and shit. Even though it is accessible to me, I don't need that shit. So, this tab right here, I'm just basically going to highlight myself real quick and just show people who aren't familiar with shit that I do. You see how quick these tabs come up? Hold up. You see how quick that shit happens? It's not a coincidence. It's because I built my computer, not Apple. Not Apple. So let's go to my website. For those that don't know, as you see this logo that's above my camera right now, I just did that, whipped it up just in probably like a minute or two. But that was probably like this the 50th try, because I had been trying to do that for several days, and I finally did one that I feel like fits all the letters in it, and I stuck with that. So this is the homepage of my website. For those that don't know, I have a skateboard company. I also design grip tape. I do frames of posters. I feel like I'm the only person I see putting QR codes on my shit to make it easier for people to access it whenever I run out of business cards. Whenever I do events, I would usually use these posters to basically be the front of the deck, as I call it. And I would always have business cards available, but these QR codes are basically there in case if I run out of business cards, and at the same time, it being a piece of art, whoever frames it would also be able to showcase it and also link people to the website and the music as well. So as you can see, there is a long list of hoodies, shirts, canvases. I have a canvas. I still have this canvas, but I need to update the website, and I also have a skateboard package with it as well. I draw a lot better than that now. I know how to use my program better, even though I do need a different program. But let's view all products real quick. For those that don't know, I also make cannabis honey that is fruit flavored. There is a specific process into making that I had to think of myself while I worked in the cannabis industry and having access to the things I had access to. I have some clothing that does have cannabis images on it, but this one's no longer available, so I need to update that. Wasps. This is my favorite one. I really like the lettering I did there. And the reason for that is because it's also an album that's available on my Bandcamp. This banner right here, this was all me, along with the lettering there. And we have about 8 projects, but this one right here is the album I'm currently working on. Most of it's already available, but there's still a couple more songs that I'm going to add to it to make it complete. But as far as what I was talking about earlier, the formatting, I have to format it and make sure that each half of the album comfortably fits on side A of a vinyl. And as you can tell, some of these songs are already too long, so I gotta possibly consider making it a double LP. I do have 2 free albums up if anyone's interested. This one right here, and this one right here. So basically the way to access them for free is you just buy digital album. Since it says name your price, just type in 000. You do not have to pay for this. This is free. This is 1 on the house. 2 on the house, actually. So aside from that, I also had a subscription delivery service. This was running pretty much during the pandemic. I updated a couple posts, but eventually I stopped doing it. People weren't really paying attention to this because at the time I was doing this, my friends were promoting someone else's company, and everybody completely forgot about me, which is a normal thing that always happens to me, that eventually people are going to start paying attention to. And that's the reason why we need to get these subs up. So in one of these episodes, I'm definitely going to talk about why I don't do clothing anymore and don't want to do clothing anymore. And that's going to be a very detailed episode as well. It's probably going to run probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. And lastly, this is the SoundCloud. I put my favorite songs from the albums up on the SoundCloud. But I figured I would let everybody know this ain't no overnight just started this shit. This is some shit that I guess I've been figuring out and doing for a cool minute. If you go to my playlist and you go to the Poltergeist Arcade playlist, you can literally just start and let that shit play for hours. No matter what time you come back to it, if you happen to be doing dishes or mowing your lawn or whatever, no matter what time you come back to it, there's going to be something interesting you're going to see. Facts. So today, we're going to start off with the weather like we usually do. I don't even need these headphones at this point. So, for the weather, we're looking at the weather for Hyde Park. And it is basically telling us that it's going to be, I guess you could say, a normal temperature today. Today is supposed to be 67 degrees. And it's going to be mostly cloudy, I guess, for pretty much the whole day. Tomorrow, it's going to clear up just a little bit, which is Friday. Saturday and Sunday, it seems like it's going to be a little bit hotter. Monday, back to being Friday, kind of cloudy. Tuesday is going to be wide open sunny. And then Wednesday and Thursday next week are going to be cloudy. But the thing is, I personally think that all this shit is going to get swayed. I think all this shit is going to change and get swayed. Because, for one, we're close to the ocean. Clouds fly in whenever. And two, maybe possibly these first 2 days will be correct, but I think right now, currently, with how much the weather's changing, I don't know if that's going to stay. I mean, hopefully it does. That would be cool, I guess, but don't really matter too much to me. So when I was younger, I used to be taught things that I realize don't matter and don't exist or don't have any play currently today. I'm going to list a couple of those things right now. So when I was younger, I was taught to know my multiplication and subtraction and division because in the future, long division included, in the future, there's a chance that I might not have a calculator next to me. I feel like my phone is always ringing randomly. That's why I don't put it on my desk anymore. I just leave that shit in the corner. I literally pay a cell phone bill just for my phone to randomly ring during streams. But I was told and taught that in the future, I might not always have a calculator available, and that's why we need to know our long division and multiplication. We need to know our long division and multiplication in general so that we don't get screwed over, but there should have been a different reason given to children other than that, because as you can see now in the future compared to back then, our cell phones have fucking computers on them, basically, like voice recognition AI that can answer the shit for us. So we have AI that can answer the shit for us in our devices that are in our back pocket. And not just that, like, it can basically guide us on how to prep any meal you want. You can basically look up any location. If someone talks shit to you online, technically there's ways to find their exact address on the other side of the earth if you wanted. A satellite will beam that shit to you if you go to the right people or websites. Shit is getting crazy now, and it's just crazy that me and my homies, I'm sure, can go back and think back to teachers telling them that, oh yeah, You need to know this because in the future there might not be a calculator next to you, or or you might not have a calculator. Nigga, we're always gonna have fucking calculators now. Like, people are gonna have that shit. They're gonna have a device in their wrist that can calculate some shit for them at any given moment if they I'm sure within the next couple years. Um so another thing that we were taught is sources always need to be listed in order for people to prove that the information that they are uh, giving to others is proven or correct. Um, that shit ain't true anymore because I literally watched on this platform that I'm recording this to a person completely fabricate a completely made up. Actually, no, I take that back. Maybe possibly this story did happen, but he completely switched the face of the person that was involved to someone I know, which is crazy. And at that point, when you're broadcasting a story in general and claiming it's nonfiction, uh, I'm pretty sure broadcasting that to tens of thousands to millions of people and revenue is generated upon your channel, you would think that if someone didn't have their sources to verify that this even happened, especially if it's a story that can tarnish or damage someone's reputation in this space that we're in, you would think that there would be some kind of protection in play to where it could possibly get taken to court. But then I saw another video completely unrelated where I can't remember exactly who, but I'm gonna say a prominent podcaster basically was saying that in YouTube there's none of that. When it comes to record labels and stuff like that, these are reputable brands that have court documents and stuff like that and are registered, blah blah blah. But when it comes to YouTube, apparently you can't really do that shit. There have been cases where people who someone who got injured on a ride at Disneyland couldn't take them to court because when they signed up for the Disney app, they waived their rights to take them to court. And that whole like getting injured on a ride, that's just an example that's made up. But something very similar to that just recently happened. I'm sure people have heard about it. But the fact is that people, when they sign up for a Disney Channel or the Disney app, I mean, they are waiving their rights to take them to court without even knowing it because no one reads user agreements. They purposely make these things extra fucking long to basically throw in whatever the fuck they want in there. And even worse is sometimes we don't even know what the fuck we're signing up for. Let's see, what's another those are basically the two examples that I have right now just off the top of things that we were taught when we were younger that didn't end up being true. But I'm gonna make a pivot and go to this shooting that recently happened. But right after that, I'm just gonna give y'all a quick brief summary on a shooting that happened years back. Me and the homies were recently talking about this, kinda. But the thing is, like, I needed a refresher because my younger sister happened to be going to a nearby school at the time this happened, and I can't remember where I was at. I think I was at work, but yeah, it was kind of a the way the events unfolded is what made it really complicated. So basically, from what I remember hearing about an event that happened and then another event that happened, and me knowing the parts of the city that these two events happened in. Even on the news, they were also saying that they were unable to tell if these two events, and with the timing as well, were connected. So I remember that part. I and this is why I believe I was at work. I had to admit at work. I don't remember the resolution of what happened. Or actually, I do remember the resolution of what happened, but I don't remember them after finding out if the two events were connected. So I'm just going to read this brief summary. On June 7, 2013, a spree shooting occurred in Santa Monica, California. Its catalyst was a domestic dispute, a subsequent fire at a home. Event number one, that's the one I remember. Followed by a series of shootings near and on the Santa Monica College campus. Event number two. Before I continue reading, there was a gap of time between when both those happened, and that's why the police department at the time was kind of confused on if they were everyone was confused on whether or not the two were connected. And apparently the suspect was someone that went to school during the time that I was there. The shooter, 23-year-old John Zawari, was killed by police officers. Wait, hold on. Followed by a series of shootings near and on the Santa Monica College campus. 6 people were killed, including the suspect, and 4 injured. The shooter, 23-year-old John Zawari, was killed by police officers when he exchanged gunfire with them at the Santa Monica College library. The California Highway Patrol received a phone call at 11:52 a.m. on June 7, 2013 of shots fired. Upon arrival, police called the fire department when they saw a house on fire located at 2030. I'm not going to read the address. After the fire was under control, the bodies of 2 men were found in the house, both having died from gunshot wounds. After setting fire to the house, 23-year-old Zawari, armed with an AR-15 type semi-automatic... Oh, damn, I didn't know he had an AR-15. Which he assembled from legally purchased components though he was legally prohibited from possessing firearms, some of which required machining with a mill. Stopped a woman driving a Mazda hatchback, holding her at gunpoint. A passing female driver tried to intervene and was shot and wounded by Zawari. He then ordered the driver of the first car, a 40-year-old woman, to drive him to the Santa Monica College campus. Along the way, Zawari shot at Big Blue Bus 4057, which was carrying approximately 24 passengers, 3 of whom suffered injuries. A police cruiser was also fired upon. Upon arriving on the college campus, Zawari shot into a Ford Explorer, killing a 68-year-old male driver and fatally wounding the passenger. He then continued on foot towards the college library, fatally shooting another woman immediately outside. Entering the library, Zawari opened fire on students inside, then focused his gunfire on a group of library employees barricaded in a storage room. Witnesses stated they heard gunshots and screams, but were able to hide or escape unharmed. While on the campus, he fired at least 70 rounds and dropped a duffel bag loaded with magazines, boxes of ammunition, and a .44 caliber revolver. When police arrived at the college, they exchanged gunfire with Zawari. He was shot by Santa Monica police officers. I'm not going to say their names, but salutes to them. Even though Black Americans don't really see eye to eye with police lots of times. Not all police are bad. And I don't know their roles in policing in general, whether or not they abide by the law or not. But for this incident, this rampage, it takes a lot of courage to really step in there and handle business. And we really got to start at least giving them that. We at least got to give them that. There are a lot of officers that do go into these situations, put their life on the line for the greater good, and we really got to at least salute that. And the reason I say that is because as we've seen through the last 10 years, I guess, since this happened, there has been so many mass shootings and police just not really wanting to step in, even caught on camera and shit like that. But yeah, I mean, this city, Santa Monica, right now is going through a lot of shit. Yeah. Inside the library and then brought outside where he died. Authorities investigated up to 9 crime scenes believed to be tied to the 13-minute long shooting spree. Though Zawari had been killed, officers actively searched the college campus for additional shooters and victims for over 8 hours. Yeah, so that happened in 2013, and I was definitely at work. Now that I think of it, um, now years later, because this was pretty much like more than 10 years ago. I had never really went back and looked the story up. I remember I had family who was at a nearby school at the time, and that was kind of the worry. But luckily, she had, I believe, been on a field trip, so we were good. But at the same time, like I do remember, like police had shut down like all the streets. I'm pretty sure they shut down like all the streets surrounding. Like they said, they were searching for up to 8 hours for additional suspects and stuff like that. It's a crazy scene, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because for those that are local and know, there was just another shooting there. This was a black male suspect. Never thought I'd see the day. What the fuck is going on in Santa Monica? And before I even go any further, I want to say the whole time I was just reading that story, I was thinking back to when I used to go to that school. I stopped going there years before that, but I think at that time I was going to LASC. I think I was at LASC at that time. Either that or yeah, I was going to LASC. No. I think that was right before I started going to LASC. But yeah, there was a recent incident, and RIP to the victim, because I believe that they just passed away either today or yesterday. But me and a family member were just talking about this the other. We were talking about this yesterday actually. Um, I don't know the story behind this at all. I know that the story is still being figured out, but let's see, 17 hours ago. I guess this is the most recent. All right, so a Santa Monica College custodial manager has died after she was shot on campus earlier this week, officials announced. Felicia Hudson, 54, a custodial operations manager, died at about 5 p.m. Wednesday, according to the school. So that was yesterday. That was yesterday. So this would, for those that don't know, SMC has multiple campuses spread out around the city. So it's not like all these things are all happening at one campus. This is at a different campus. This wasn't the main campus. Um, so RIP to her, because I don't I don't know what the situation is, but I'm pretty sure that she didn't do anything to get shot. Like, he, being someone who has a previous attempted murder on his record, is, in my opinion, and probably obvious, the most likely the aggressor. The suspect. Wait, let's see. The suspect, Devon Darrell Dean, a 39-year-old custodian at the college, was found dead inside his car from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in Hawthorne Tuesday. College Police Chief Johnny Adams said the shooting was a horrific act of workplace violence and not a random act. Santa Monica police detectives were able to identify Dean as the shooter. Tuesday afternoon, Hawthorne police officers spotted Dean's vehicle in the area near El Segundo Boulevard and Aviation Boulevard. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like what the fuck are what the fuck are you doing over there? Like I this when I think about it after reading this portion of it, I'm thinking to myself like it sounds to me like he did this whole thing for nothing. Santa Monica police detectives were able to identify Dean as the shooter Tuesday afternoon. Hawthorne police officers spotted Dean's vehicle. After a short chase, officers used a pit maneuver to stop his car. A barricade situation ensued, and at some point, Dean turned his gun on himself, police say. So, pit maneuver is, I'm sure people have seen it on the episodes of Cops. Pit maneuver is when two cars are driving, and let's get it up in the camera. One car just basically taps the back bumper of the other car, causing it to basically turn and just spin out of control. Very effective because the person doing the pit maneuver is least likely to damage their car because they're basically still going straight the whole time. But just that little bink with enough pressure will cause the car in front to veer out of control. So, I guess they used that on him, and then he turned the gun on himself. Santa Monica police say Dean was arrested for attempted murder in 2011 and assault with a deadly weapon, a firearm, in 2019. However, he only has convictions for misdemeanor property crimes on his record, police say. We are deeply saddened and shocked by this tragic loss of our colleague Felicia Hudson, who served the college for nearly 3 decades with dedication and heart. She took great pride in being a steadfast co-worker and leader. SMC Superintendent President Catherine E. Jeffries said in a statement Wednesday evening to Felicia's family, loved ones, and friends, SMC extends our heartfelt condolences and prayers. The Santa Monica College Foundation has established a legacy fund in collaboration with Hudson family. Details are available. They've got the link. Classes at the school will be online through the weekend. Yeah, that's crazy. The whole point of me reading this story is to inform and let everyone know no one is safe anywhere in LA. Don't ever think you're safe unless you're tucked up in a fucking $1 million mansion somewhere up in Beverly Hills. Yeah, it's not lovely. And like I said, this dude, it sounds like he did all this shit for nothing. For no, he could have just went outside, drank some bleach, did himself that way. I mean, he could have did a numerous amount of things that didn't involve a pit maneuver from police, his car getting wrecked, killing an innocent person who most likely didn't even do anything. He didn't even have to work there. That's another thing he didn't have to do either. He didn't even have to fucking work there. That's crazy. That's crazy. And on top of that, like, this is if you listen to KCRW, this is the reason why that's been shut down. But it's crazy. Like, this is a city that used to be held in high regards. They would do like quadruple background checks. Trust me, I know, because I tried to get a job at City fucking Hall. They ain't letting niggas up there. That's crazy. But they'll let a nigga be a custodian though. Yeah. Ain't no one gonna talk about that aspect of it. They'll let a nigga be a fucking custodian though. Oh, nah, we don't have to background check them. They're doing the lowest fucking job that we have available. Nah, if anything happens, it's gonna be them on them. It's not a coincidence, people. We gotta just wake up to the facts. Lots of times we get put in these fucking positions where we're just like super close to some fucking psychopaths, and you won't even fucking know it until it's too late. But a college campus like this that takes in this much fucking money, I personally feel could have prevented this if they ran the proper background checks. But companies don't give a fuck about shit like that until something goes wrong. And it's really, really sad that lots of times it's got to be the worst possible aspect that can happen before they change their internal policies or change or just use common sense. I recently on my Instagram basically put up a post letting people know that this new Joker movie that came out is doing terrible right now. That's the reason why there's no movie of the month. This new Joker movie is doing terrible right now. And I told the world, or at least the few people who watch my stories on Instagram, that there needs to be more people of color, not just black people, but Asian people, Latino people, Native American people, people from India, involved in Hollywood. All these different cultures have great ideas to add. Some of the best movies I've seen as of recently have been movies that came out of Korea. We need more people of color in the movie and cinema space in general. And I feel like now that I'm looking at things on a bigger, broader scale, I feel like just in general, the whole fucking world has been shutting out all those races I just listed. And that's the reason why everything is so bland, broken, doesn't work, expensive. We need a new fucking oven. Right now, our oven's not working. Do you know how fucking expensive that shit is going to be for the fact that it's only probably going to work good for maybe 2 years? They used to build shit to last, that would last at least 10 years. It's not like that no more. Everything is built to last the shortest possible on purpose. They keep telling us that there's better technology out there, but there fucking isn't. It's all a goddamn lie. It's all bullshit. It's all terrible built shit that costs more. And at the end of this, I'm going to prove that. So yesterday, Big Meech was fucking released. Round of applause for Big Meech. When I found this out, it was through Instagram. I'm not pulling up Instagram because I don't really want to show all the people that are not involved in the stories I'm bringing up. But today, I think a bigger person posted something related to it. And I happened to click it, and I saw a comment that was basically someone saying, why do we put a criminal on a pedestal, blah, 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 blah. And a whole bunch of people got on his neck. And I get what he's saying, but at the same time, I'm smart enough to know maybe he doesn't know what Big Meech did. I think that, and shout outs to the show. I haven't seen the show. I'm sure that the show probably does tell a great story. But this move right here, him getting out, I believe will make it a little bit easier for them to progress the show, or even get other shows started, side shows, spin-offs, things like that. Him being home in general is gonna make it easier for that. But the thing is, I feel like a lot of people don't know his story, and the only reason I know of it is because of a interesting documentary that came on back in the day that I happened to save on my DVR, and I watched it like a bunch of times. But long story short, I'm just gonna break it down in one statement. His whole thing was, we're gonna get our hands dirty. We're gonna make enough money to feed our families, not just mine, our families, everyone involved, and we're not gonna put down, meaning drill or drop another black man. We're just gonna get money. Wait, how do I say this? I'm trying to summarize it the best way I could. Because basically the philosophy was, we're all going to team up. We're going to get our hands dirty. We're going to get money. We're not going to do... We're not going to take down any of our people. We're just going to get money. That was the whole philosophy behind it. And that philosophy did real good for a really long time, and that's the reason why he is the legend he is. That's the reason why they are telling his story. But when I saw that documentary, I feel like I don't think anything could tell the story better than that documentary, because they went into detail. They broke everything down. And of course, cinematic story and his son playing him is possibly the best show that they can create. But now that he's home, it's going to make it easier to show the people who aren't aware that aspect of it. Now, I'm not saying everything he did was right, but from what I was told in the documentary, and I can't even list that source right now because that fucking documentary isn't even accessible or findable anymore. It's just some shit that showed on DVR back when I used to live in my old house. And that's the reason why I mentioned that whole thing with sources earlier, because there's so many things that we're shown that basically just don't exist anymore. Everything's on YouTube now. Everything's streaming. Everything's got a paywall. You got to pay to get Paramount to get this fucking documentary that you saw back in the day, or you got to pay to get National Geographic to see this documentary you saw back in the day in order to use that as a source for shit like this. But a lot of that shit, these little movie studios and documentary studios that used to come on TV all the time, them shits don't exist anymore. All their shit's scrapped and just fucking burnt down with the fucking building that happened to have the hard drives in it. But over time, now that he's home, it'll make it easier to tell the story. A lot of people will be able to get more up to date with the contributions he's made, and also just the philosophy itself. And that's the whole thing that I'm on. It's what he did, at least the good parts of it, the knowledge behind the moves that he was making, he's able to pass that down, and maybe someone else will do something better with it if possible. But that's the whole thing that we're trying to get. We're basically trying to get to the next step with the next generation always. And that's something that my father personally never thought about. And that's the reason why I gotta salute BMF, Big Meech. That whole philosophy in itself of we not knocking our peoples down, we just basically trying to get money. So, oh yeah, and they also had a recording studio in there. They was definitely doing like a lot of things musically, and that's before everything ended. I remember that's really what he was trying to sway towards, just trying to switch it up and put a lot of focus on that, and that's not a bad thing. But I'm just gonna do the quick Wikipedia summary. And here's the thing: even these things I'm reading on Wikipedia, I always take with a grain of salt. But the Black Mafia family is a drug trafficking and money laundering organization in the United States. It was founded in 1985 in Southwest Detroit by brothers. I'm not gonna say the names, but by 2000, it had established cocaine distribution sales throughout the United States through its Los Angeles-based drug source and direct links to Mexican drug cartels. The Black Mafia family operated from two main hubs, one in Atlanta for distribution run by Demi, and one in Los Angeles to handle incoming shipments from Mexico run by the Black Mafia family. Entered the hip-hop music business as BMF Entertainment in the early 2000s as a front organization to launder money from cocaine sales and to legitimize itself. BMF Entertainment served as a promoter for several high-profile hip-hop artists, as a record label for their soul artists. Demetria became famous in hip-hop culture for their highly extravagant lifestyles. In 2005, the DEA indicted members of the Black Mafia family, ultimately securing convictions by targeting the brothers under the continuing criminal enterprise statute, and both were sentenced to 30 years imprisonment. Prosecutors alleged the BMF made over $270 million in the course of their operations. So yeah, they made a lot of fucking money, and as you can tell, it's not listed that they had dropped any other black men in the process of their operations. I think, and I might be wrong, but I think one person did get dropped ultimately in the whole thing, but I think it wasn't really like something that was sent by them. Damn, yeah, because I gotta read up on it. But yeah, the last part I said, I'll take that back. I think I'm probably thinking of another documentary I saw. Because I don't got killed, and that's the crazy thing being in Detroit. Like, people get killed all the fucking time. But from what I remember, I don't remember there being a murder at all. Maybe possibly one, maybe. And that's a big maybe. Yeah, just a shooting. Allegations of violence. Yeah, because I don't think there's any. I don't really want to just start reading all this shit because I don't know if this is true. But either way, like, I don't think there's any murders in general. Like, they had a record. I mean, they had like a legitimate record label. So that's a thing that people gotta salute. So this next thing, I do need my phone. All right. So this right here, I'm not gonna play this song at all, but I want to make the YouTube user visible. All right. So this morning when I woke up, I'm gonna read something that Method Man had said, and I'm glad I reposted this shit so that I can refer back to it. All right. So where's my camera? As you can see here, this is an Instagram post to Cal Athletics. This is Method Man's like gym athletic company page. So he brought to everyone and my attention that he does not like the pages that do this, and I don't either. I get it. But there's a specific thing you need to do to make this work. But this one. So he took a photo. Oh yeah, by the way, this is another thing. On the far right of people's YouTube channels, they give you the option to put your tag there, and then when you hover over the tag, you can subscribe from there. A lot of people don't know that. So lots of times people put extra tags, watermarks. I don't know why I said tag. A lot of times people put extra watermarks that are not necessary whatsoever. But it makes it easier for me to go find the exact video that someone's talking about whenever they do this exact thing. So this right here, this is a hip hop conversation. I've been doing album reviews. The Biohazard RX lots of times are not related to hip hop, but every now and then I'll bring in some hip hop shit. But eventually, after I do the 12th episode of Biohazard RX, I'm gonna make it more normal for me and my friends to link up and do specific hip hop conversations on topics like this. So this is what Method Man had to say about this. And once again, the Tupac watermark that you see in the bottom left corner made it easier for me to find this exact video. All right, so when was this? This was 4 hours ago. So this was early in the morning. He's on East Coast time, I believe. So maybe the time was different. I don't know why this is a thing, but I hate the fact that people do these unauthorized remakes of records with fake collabs. This guy, I asked him a long time ago to take this trash down as it takes views away from the original content. And he still has yet to do so. Over 200 mil views and not one penny to the creators. No one takes into account the time and effort it takes to even make these records, let alone get these records put out into the public for someone to come and do half the work and get twice, if not quadruple, the views of the original content. Whatever happened to IP rights? Whenever I sample a record, I have to inform the original creators and ask for permission to do so. What makes YouTube any different? I am pretty sure you guys have seen a lot of these fake remixes, but a lot of people don't know they're fake. I've heard my voice on beats I would never rhyme to, and a lot of times the verses are off beat. That is what we call hack shit, and I don't respect it. The main culprits are South Central Channel, a golden age. The main culprits are South Central Channel, Golden Age Hip Hop, and New York's Finest, to name a few. And the person responsible for this piece of work, DJ Scandalous, actually reached out to make things right. My reply was take the video down. As you can see, the video was never taken down. He informed me, though, that he makes no money off the video. My reply is then you should have no problem taking it down. But I guess it looks like he does. So I'll just leave this here and let the fans be the judge. Am I wrong for standing up, or should I just sit down and shut the fuck up? No, Method Man. No, you're absolutely right on this. And that's what I said in my comment. You are absolutely right about this. So here's the thing. This is something that I understand partially, but when it comes to YouTube and monetization, that's one of the things that I don't understand. And I also don't understand how YouTube isn't stepping in on shit like this, because the music that I played at the beginning of this, I did not put any tag on it. At any moment, someone could basically snatch that fucking song on it, rap on it, re-release it. I probably won't even hear about this shit. That's just the reality of what it is. I don't want no one to do that, but that's just the reality of what it is. But that's also the reason why I played a song that's unfinished. It's a thing. As you can see, the artists listed: Method Man, Tupac, Ice Cube, Freddie Gibbs, built for this HD music video. It doesn't say remix whatsoever in it. This DJ, I can't tell from the thumbnail, but does not look like someone of our culture. He didn't take the video down when asked by Method Man, a legitimate hip-hop contributor. That's crazy. And Method Man, you're not wrong for flaming this dude and those other channels that were listed. Now, here's the thing. The reason why I partially get it is because I know, or I'm assuming that he made this beat, and it does say remix in the description, but it should say in the title. HD music video, that's not true, really. This is video stripped from an HD video. It's like I get it, but I don't. And the reason why I don't get it, like, for example, there's people who commented today on, you just got called out by Method Man, dude hates his video and called you a hack. Like, people are letting them know, but it's like, this, I guess this shit's been up for years, and it's just been gaining and gaining and gaining. But like Method Man said, like, none of these artists get paid out from this. Like, I mean, you can see all these views. Like, look at this shit. Look at this fucking number. Like, everyone who makes beats could do the same thing. But like Method Man said, like, the technique to doing this, you really need an acapella. You need an acapella vinyl. Like, this shit, it don't cut. Like, it doesn't work. Like, I get it. Like, the beat's not bad. The beat, it's not bad. The beat's not bad. But the thing is, the verses, like, I think one or two artists are on beat, but then, like, these other people, like, it's not working. The reason why you need vinyl is because lots of times people scratch and hold the record to catch it up to pace, specifically after certain lines. You got to remember exactly when that part's coming up. There's a lot to it. But when you copy and paste the video over the beat and, like, try to align it to be a remix and like get videos and footage to make it seem like it's a legitimate music video, like, it would make more sense if it said for school project for college or something like that. But to try to push this off as like oh damn, man, Method Man, Tupac, Ice Cube, and Freddie Gibbs all did a song together. I didn't know that, because that's the general public right there. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they have a song together. As they're typing up the same tags that I put in my album review videos and stuff, because I'm lots of times I'm tagging these artists, I'm tagging whoever did the album. So this shit's showing up right next to that. And then, of course, people are going to go to this first. It has 266 million fucking views. So, yeah, Method Man had every right to call that out. Like, this number is fucking ridiculous. And this is where my algorithm is at. This is the reason why I don't show up in no one's fucking shit, because everybody's busy watching shit like this. Like, I swear to God, I'm going to start doing the same fucking thing. I'm I'm about to get some Michael Jackson footage tonight and get this shit ready to go on one of my beats. Man, Michael Jackson and Prince collabo. Oh man, let me throw Tupac on there too. Biggie, I'm gonna throw Big L on there. Rest in peace, Nipsey. I'm gonna get him on there. Like I'm gonna get everybody that I can get on this shit, and we're just gonna take in as much money as fucking possible. We're not gonna give it to none of the families who really contributed pretty much 100% of that shit. That sounds crazy. That shit sounds fucking crazy. Like this is really some shit where YouTube should be checking for that. Like, yo, is any contributions being made to this deceased artist that is basically generating probably 200 fucking million? If Method Man told me to take that shit down, I would have had to take that shit down. I mean, although that's a bag, I would have had to take that shit down. Don't set yourself up to get a fucking bag off some shit like this. That's crazy. So a lot of people who aren't really part of the culture don't know this. I have them on Instagram. I can't remember their names right now, but there is actually a foundation that was just recently built to honor all the OGs and get fundings in, like basically annual funding sent to them for being the creators of hip hop. And I know it was in a recent event, and I know it's probably about to start being all over media soon, because it's going to be an annual thing. But yeah, they had like a ball or something like that, and it was pretty dope. I remember seeing a video. But that's the thing, like y'all gotta start checking for shit like this. Method Man is absolutely right on this. Like people gotta start checking for shit like this. This shit is fucking crazy. Like it's a big problem, because I be stumbling upon videos like this too. Like I'll watch, like Calvin right here. This is one of my favorite music videos. I'll watch this and shit like this comes on right after. It comes on right after. Lots of times I'll play a fucking song and right after that shit they'll throw on some random ass fucking techno DJ mix. It's like, bro, I don't want to. I ain't trying to hear this right now. Like, and that's the reason why this algorithm's all fucked up. Let me admit the shit. It's all fucked up. It's all fucked. Everybody only knows one album reviewer. You already know who you already know who I'm talking about. Everyone only knows of one album reviewer, as if there's not other album reviewers of color out there. Shit, this is where all of our algorithm is in this fucking remix. But the DJ, I'm not even trying to hate on him. Like, there's just other ways to do it. And I'm not even trying to make it seem like all his following is just off of this video, which isn't the case. But that whole thing, this whole like fake remixes thing needs to stop. The whole type beats need to stop. Let's see. Let's type in the word type beat. Let's see what pops up. Let's read all of them. Free rack baby sample type beat. Trap type beat. 21 Savage JID type beat. Key Glock Young Dolph type beat. Splurge type beat. Freestyle beat bars. Free type beat. Rap trap beat instrumental. Screwly G type beat, trap type beat, trap type beat, future type beat, Golem, that's a cool name, trap type beat. I like that one dimple shit. I'm with that. Yeah, don't bring her around me. Trap type beat, 180k views. Free Screwly G type beat. Freestyle type beat. I remember there used to be like a whole bunch of drill type beats. Let's see. Let's do some drill. Free drill type beat. UK drill type beat. Drill type beat. Drill type beat. UK drill type. Got like 80 niggas with chains in the fucking lobby. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Got 80 niggas. 80 niggas again. They're gonna name his shit P. Diddy. And that's really the algorithm now. Like, your content doesn't fucking matter. It's all about the tags. For example, my last Biohazard RX, I taught niggas how to build a fucking computer that can run and do all this shit. But whoever has a more expensive computer than me is who they're gonna listen to. Because that person is going to be at a loss for money and going to need that shit back. And they're going to sell you that information that I gave for free. But they're going to sell that shit to you. All because you believe the person who had a more expensive computer. In lots of cases, it'll be the person with more followers, or the person with more subs, or the person with more views, or the person with more... Oh shit, let's go that way. Niggas done named the beat P. Diddy. At this time in history... When P. Diddy is all over the fucking news, let's name the shit P. Diddy so we can get it up there. 80 niggas. Got 80 niggas. Got 80 niggas again. 80 niggas in the background. That's how our shit be jumping, bruh. We gotta hold a gun in front of a car. We gotta have a big ass chain. But yeah, that's just an example of type beats. That's some shit. It's a thing. It's a thing. And you know what's also a thing? Apparently there is a cannabis legalization plan, and also a plan for black men involving crypto from the candidate Kamala Harris. So as you can see, she unveiled a policy proposal. Yeah, and this ain't even... I'm not into politics. I don't really mention politics on this shit. But one thing that I've been noticing as of late is that a lot of black men are telling me and everyone else why they're not voting for her. But a lot of them won't admit that they're gonna vote for that nigga over there. But I only see her making things, agendas, or policies or statements that are beneficial towards black men. So, let's dig into this real quick. How many black men do we know that always get in the circle and in the conversation and claim that they love black women, but some of those same black men go to the other side as soon as a black woman gets a once in a lifetime opportunity? Now here's the thing. Let me break this down. I can't remember exactly how long it took for us to finally get a black president, but we have not seen one since. And through a literal fucking miracle was a old ass white man that the country values way more than any black person in this whole fucking world. So that old ass white man, by a miracle, was able to peacefully come out of his fucking position of making shit happen and keeping that white vice grip on all control of the fucking world, basically. He relinquished that shit and upstepped not just a black person, but a black woman with knowledge in her fucking head. And ever since then, I've seen all types of black men tear her down. This shit's been crazy. I've seen Kodak Black fucking talk about voting for Trump for years. And I don't know if he's aged at all in those last couple years, but I'm wondering where his stance is right now currently, if that shit's changed at all, because I see a lot of people just not admitting that they're going to that other side. And if someone has a reason, like some people definitely are worried about gun laws and stuff like that. So I guess I get it, but this being the once in a lifetime, because even after her, we're never, ever, ever gonna get a black woman ever again in our lifetimes. um, so yeah, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This a fucking miracle literally had to happen for her to get put in this position. And right now, currently, people are tearing her the fuck down with no information to back it up. The plan, which Harris' campaign is calling an opportunity agenda for black men, comes as she seeks to shore up support from black voters with early voting underway. It also comes amid discussion fueled in part by former President Barack Obama about Harris supporting among black men. About Harris' support among black men. Harris made direct inroads with black men in the lead up to the 2020 campaign that appeared to be fruitful, and Democratic presidential nominee's latest proposals seem designed to double down on those efforts. Her proposal, unveiled Monday, includes 1 million fully forgivable. What the fuck is this? 1 million fully forgivable loans up to $20,000 for black business owners and others looking to start businesses. A national initiative focused on black men's disparate health outcomes. More investment in education, mentorship, and training programs designed to fuel black men into good-paying, high-demand jobs in fields where they are underrepresented and desperately needed, like teaching. Supporting regulation to protect black men and others who invest in and own cryptocurrencies. Legalizing recreational marijuana and creating opportunities for black entrepreneurs in this budding industry. Nigga, we have finally made it. So let me break all this shit down. The reason why I showed my website and my clothing business earlier is because if you guys remember, during the pandemic, when the government, which did not have a black person in charge, was giving away. First off, let's go back. Why the fuck? Why the fuck? Why the fuck? Why the fuck? Why the fuck did COVID-19 happen in the fucking first place, nigga? 2. When the country, as a backstep in order for not admitting and denying that documents were ignored that could have possibly prevented this shit from getting into our country, a proposition was made that they were going to give fundings to small businesses. But if you applied for those fundings, you noticed that through, and I'm sure you've noticed over time, that lots of times anything that involves government fucking funding that is beneficial, lots of times we don't fucking qualify for it because of simple shit that's on the paperwork. I remember when I applied for that shit, I answered every question truthfully. Guess what I got? Guess what I got? I got fucking nothing, nigga. No matter how much you pray to God, some things just don't fucking happen. And our government do not give niggas no fucking money or no fucking opportunity. And this is for black business owners and others looking to start businesses. This is not you have to have a business and have to have 16 employees and have to have a fucking tax returning statement and all this shit. Nigga, I don't have no fucking 15 employees. I'm independent. I'm black. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, this will be beneficial. 20,000. I don't even need that much. What I was applying for, I needed less than that. I didn't need 15. I think it was like, I don't even think it was 15K. But I don't even need that. This is real important. Who else is thinking about this? I mean, if you really pay attention to, and what I'm about to say is involving black women. If you really pay attention to how many there's a lot of issues and even in some cases deaths when women are in hospitals just giving birth, going through labor. There's a lot of labor deaths in our country, specifically in black area hospitals. No one's speaking about that. But I feel like this is someone who will at least pay attention to that, or at least listen. I'm pretty sure she already knows. But more investment in education, mentorship, and training programs designed to funnel black men into good paying, high demand jobs in fields where they are underrepresented and desperately needed, like teaching. So I've been to 2 colleges. As you've seen, 2 incidents have freaking happened with one of the colleges I went to. The other college I went to needs to be restructured along with pretty much everything in this country. Why is it that I show up to a college, I sign up for the classes I need, and then the other class that I want to take in order to get the proper amount of credits can't fit in between the 2 classes I signed up for because it's on the wrong day, or it makes no fucking sense. Let's see. I'm going to give an example. So I have an English class in the morning from, let's say, 8 to 9:30. And then I have a math class at 12 to 2. So from 9:30 to 12, I try to fit in another class, and I'm only at the school 3 days out of the week. So the other class is on the 4 days I'm not at school, the class I want to fit in. It's the perfect amount of time to fit in, but it's on the other 4 days I'm not at school. Those other 4 days, I'm on the other side of the city at work. So this class I'm trying to fit in is electronic music. And that's the thing. People, oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, just take a class. Oh yeah, sign up for a class. A lot of things that people aren't mentioning is that a lot of these schools are run by people who are pieces of shit and don't fucking properly put anything together. How the fuck am I supposed to get that electronic class? People keep telling me, oh yeah, go to school, take this class. Oh yeah, you can learn music. Your school teaches music. You can learn music. This fucking class is not available 7 days out of the week. Why not? Are they lacking teachers? Or are they lacking equipment? Are they lacking a room to teach the class all 7 days of the week? This is a prime example of not just one college I've been to, but 2 colleges I've been to. This is a thing. This is a fucking problem. There's no name for it, and that's the reason why no one ever fucking talks about it. Let me be the first to show you everything that's broken in this fucking country. Oh yeah, underrepresented cannabis industry. Supporting regulation to protect black men and others who invest in and own cryptocurrency is awesome, because cryptocurrencies, there's no information for us about the shit. For one thing that Nipsey always tried to bring across people is that we lack in technology. And personally, I feel that lack in technology is fucking killing us. It's fucking killing us. That's literally the reason why I taught people how to build a computer for free, because that's some shit that we all need. Everyone's house it's essential now. Everyone needs to fuck having TV, fuck having cable, because I told my family this. They didn't listen until my younger sister told them. Fuck having TV, fuck having cable. Internet is the essential, because all those other things are accessible through the fucking internet. So that's the only bill we need to pay. Fuck TV and fuck cable. And fuck all these subscription services too. We are lacking in technology, and that shit is literally fucking killing us. We are so underrepresented in all these fucking jobs, all because all of them use Apple computers. I worked at a fucking, bruh, I built my PC like probably 2 years after I got a job, and every computer that was there was a fucking Apple computer. Can you believe that shit? For one, this company is dumb as fuck for even... This company is dumb as fuck. Oh, damn. Yeah, if you watch my cannabis episode, you already know what I'm talking about. This company was dumb as fuck. Every computer that they had in all their facilities were fucking Apple computers, which is literally the most expensive fucking shit on the market, all because you don't want to talk to a black man who knows how to build PCs for 1/3 of the fucking price. Can you imagine that shit? Can you imagine a company tanking and going into fucking red because they spent so much money on shit that don't even fucking matter because it's more expensive, and they feel that it's easier, and they feel that they're gonna make all this money back, and they feel that, bruh, we're lacking technology, and that shit is killing us though, because lots of times they don't even want to fucking put us in none of these positions and use that as a fucking reason, but they'll say it in a completely different way. They'll say it in a completely different way. Well, do you have any experience with such and such program which is only available on Apple? Oh, you don't? Well, do you have an Apple computer? Oh, you don't? Well, what about your iPhone? Oh, you don't have an iPhone? Oh, well, I'm sorry. We've got to go with the white person who has all these things, whose parents use all these fucking things too because they get a discount at the Apple store. Sorry. So yeah, we're underrepresented and desperately needed, especially in things like the cannabis industry. Supporting regulation to protect black men and others who invest in and own cryptocurrencies, legalizing recreational marijuana, and creating opportunities for black entrepreneurs in this budding industry. So, if you see my cannabis episode again, I break down what I feel about this, but we definitely need something like this to happen, because here is one of those things where the sources aren't found lots of times. There are, and still, a lot of African Americans who were incarcerated for having in front of them small amounts of cannabis, even like this. So this right here doesn't look like a green plant, but trust me, look no further. This right here is weed. Legalizing recreational marijuana and creating opportunities for black entrepreneurs in this budding industry. So I'm going to give y'all some game real quick. Cannabis is not legal in all 50 states. And I wonder if Google World is still... I wonder if Google World... Google Earth. Let's pull up Google Earth real quick. So, a lot of people don't know that cannabis isn't legal in all of America. There's the motherland, Africa. We're going to travel past South America. So the thing is, and I might be wrong, but I think this is supposed to represent the Earth right now because of the... Oh, actually, no, I take that back. I'm wrong. I was going to say because the sun is like shining on this hemisphere right now. So, as we're looking at all 50 states... Great noise open. Is this so much? No, I don't need that right now. So yeah, cannabis isn't legal in all 50 states, but as you can see, this one right here, the one that everyone in the fucking world is moving to right now, is the biggest landmass. But that is the one state where that stuff is not legal. It's not recreationally legal. Let's go back in time. Let's go back into a time when George Washington was still president and people were legally using this. Of course, not the slaves, but people were legally using these things. And if you think about it, it doesn't really take much to just grow a single plant, especially if it's for home uses. Maybe you want to mix it with aloe vera and rub it on your son's cuts because he got cut, and the plant will numb the pain while it heals, or cause it to heal faster. This plant isn't just for smoking. So during those times, something happened to what, during the jazz era, that's what it was, when black people and Latino people were creating awesome music that was definitely getting ears and eyes focused on it and needed something to relax with the atmosphere of the conditions of the country and how police were just treating people of color in general. During that time, this was a plant that was suddenly outlawed and banned. And because of that, ever since then, we have been put in the position we're in of people of specific colors getting extremely incarcerated over such small amounts. Meanwhile, the country itself lost out on decades after decades after decades of growing this specific plant, which they knew eventually was going to be legal in the future after they arrested enough black people and completely took them out of every possibility of having a fucking job in this business. Trust me, I know. So decades could have been used across this entire country to grow this plant, especially with this state right here, which has the largest landmass, which I'm sure being a little bit closer to the equator would possibly have a great chance at producing lots of these plants. These plants over time could have been used as fuel for our vehicles, along with making clothing, along with making fucking houses. They could probably take the branches and stems of the plants and find a way to make vinyl records out of the shit. It can make some of the most durable fabrics ever. Whenever I grow a plant and I trim it and I trim all the branches off, that stem that's sticking out of the dirt, that can't break. You can't break it. Like it's an unbreakable stem. You can't, like, you cannot break it. You literally would have to try to slice it with a samurai sword, but even doing that, I think you would have to like hold the top of it in place while you slice through that shit, or someone would have to hold it. But it's an unbreakable stem. It's one of the strongest materials that people don't know about. And like I said, for decades, this state with such a large landmass could have been producing acres and 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 acres of this plant in order to use for fuel for vehicles. And this is what I'm talking about. If you take a branch of freshly grown cannabis, all the trichomes, which is the frosty, sticky stuff on the outside, that shit is so fucking thick that if they weren't busy outlawing and arresting niggas specifically for this plant, I am sure that this large landmass of a state could have generated enough fucking cannabis to find a way to use the shit for fuel in our vehicles, possibly a fuel that is less hazardous to the fucking atmosphere at that. If the proper research was invested in, these are things that I believe could have probably happened. The country itself would be the largest producer of that plant and able to prepackage it. If you just think about that, let's say that research was used to turn this plant into fuel. We wouldn't really need to be going to war for oil. Just the availability of that plant in every state, I feel, would have lowered mass shootings. There'd be more arcades across the country, maybe a place for teenagers to go to. Less businesses would be out of business. There'd be more businesses running, for sure. I believe that there'd be less traffic on the streets because people would be at home cultivating their plants. I mean, let's say that were the case. Let's say that the plants were able to be fuel for cars. People would be able to cultivate plants at home to send and package to others to use for fuel. Like it would be a fuel that you can cultivate at your house. But our country is so fucking greedy that they would rather use technology to learn how to build this shit. So for those that don't know about the Tesla robot, let's see what's up with this Tesla robot. So the Tesla robot, if you've ever seen the movie iRobot, it's basically a faceless droid that can conversate with you and talk just like a human to make you feel more comfortable talking to it. and it can do simple tasks for you around the house. Like, for example, you can leave it alone with your grandma, and hopefully it'll feed her and gently put the fork in her mouth. Hopefully. Because we all know if systems don't update, they glitch. You know what's crazy? Remember that thing I said earlier about people who have a more expensive computer or more amounts of views that people would rather listen to them? So we have someone who has a successful car brand, and people believe that that person is the smartest person in the whole world. But I believe that the smartest person in the whole world would know not to put legs on automated robots. Damn, this is dope. We're about to have a robo-van, a robo-taxi. We're about to have all these things that drive for us, so then that way we don't have to drive anymore, which can be safer. But if there's a solar flare and that system goes haywire, it's going to shut down on your way to Las Vegas. Along with your cell phones, all the batteries are all going to go out. If there's extreme heat on your way to Vegas, and this Tesla van that's driving you there hasn't been updated, or the company that's running it was busy buying a mansion rather than updating the wheels on it or the suspension or the technology or the computer in it, that shit might just stop on the road and turn off, and you might not be able to open the doors. And I don't know about you, but I can't see what's in that little black slither on the side of it. So we're going to see what happens in the future with these things. I mean, I think it's a good idea if they just have these running in the city. But so far, people are talking about getting fleets of these things and like having them shits all on the streets while they're at home, like playing with their drone. But like having fleets of these that are basically Ubering people to where they need to go. But it's like if someone needs to go to Disneyland, who the fuck do they call? Like there's no cars on the road. And there's no parking lots or parking structures because every car on the road is an automated car. I don't know how that's gonna work. I really don't know. But another thing with technology, like I was saying earlier, about people going with the item that's more expensive, or the person who has more views, or the more expensive car, or this or that. So for those that know about PuffCon, a lot of people didn't know that Puffco is a cannabis brand, and that's really who throws PuffCon. So this is Puffco's website. So the reason I'm bringing this up because this right here is a new item that they just announced just recently. This is a cannabis item. So this is the cannabis section of this. This is the the cannabis section of this Biohazard RX episode. So this is a product that is basically a pen-shaped device that has a small compartment in it to heat up concentrates specifically. And that's basically what devices they make. They've always been making concentrate. They've always been making concentrate devices. I used to have one. That's why I know about this brand. That's the reason why I'm bringing this up. So this is a brand that's known to have high-priced items. So when I saw this item, I was thinking, oh, okay, this is exactly what I need. But it looks like because it's smaller and portable, it's going to be my price point. So when I finally went to it, after all the hype, by the way, this thing is hyped. Everybody's hyped. Every time Puffco drops something, they're fucking hyped. Always. Like, everybody's got to get this shit. They're going to sell out. It's going to say sold out on their website as soon as they drop this shit. And everyone's going to show up to PuffCon. They're all going to have them. And then everyone's going to be there sitting in a circle, smoking and dabbing together. And then, of course, there's going to be a couple people who show up who have no intentions other than coming up on these, who happens to leave them on their fucking seat when they get up to go get a drink, or maybe it fell out of their pocket, because that's another thing that happens too. So this is cool. They've got a size comparison. They've got white people's hands holding it. They've got a dude with a wedding ring on to show cannabis users that normal human beings use cannabis too. It's not just Negroes. That's basically what they're trying to push at all fucking. Not saying this company is, but just in general, that's what cannabis in California, at least, is. Basically an industry where, oh shit, I'm referring to about 20 years ago, maybe 30 years ago. Oh shit, those guys over there, they're smoking cannabis. I can smell the reefer in the air. Get away from them. They're low lives. To, oh man, I feel so good smoking this cannabis. This reminds me of all those guys that we passed by in that alley 20 years ago. I wonder what happened to them. I think they're arrested. Well, what they should have done was they should have got jobs in this industry. It's like, nigga, they literally kidnapped all of us and kept us out this shit. So in that way, the only jobs that we can get is in the advertising. They usually show us smoking now to show consumers, oh, hey, they smoking loud over here. That's how we're going to make our profit. We smoking loud over here. But no, we're not going to hire no black people to go in the lab. No. That's too much. That's asking too much. That's really what it is with this cannabis industry. And I'm not referring to this brand at all when I'm talking about that. But it takes a really long fucking time scrolling past all these non-black people to see what the price is for this. Let's see. Do I see any black fingertips? No. Do I see any black people in the design process? No. Maybe one. Maybe. Damn. I thought when I saw this yesterday that it was 100. I don't know what that star is for. There's nothing on it. Display price in USD will vary by country. So basically, that device I just showed you is $130. It's a nice, sleek device. It's $60 to get the attachment adapter so it can go into a bong or bowl. And then $50 for the travel case so you can travel with it in your pocket, with your cell phone or in your little purse. And yeah, of course, there's pictures of everyone in these locations where white people are only invited, enjoying their device, because no one in the hood could afford this shit, of course. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. This is the cannabis industry, taken from someone who's up in Cali. This is really what it is. And the prices of these fucking devices never let me down. It's always way more expensive than it fucking should be. So we're gonna exit out of that, and we're gonna look at something that is way cheaper that does 3 things. So this is the Duplex 2 by Ooze. Their website is oozelife.com, and I'm not paid by them to do this. The reason why I'm doing this is because I happen to have one right here. So it's been a while since I reviewed a cannabis product, and I'm not going to review this, but I'm going to save you money, because at the end of the day, that's the whole point. So this is, as you can see, it looks like a I can't remember what they call it, but it looks like a normal vaporizer because it happens to have a faceplate on it that unattaches, and that's the button. It has lights on it to show me the battery. So yeah, that shit right there is really useful. And as you can see, it's a USB-C charger. But I have my nectar collector attached to it because I've been hitting concentrate out this lately. And What originally happened was this is my vape pen. I use it on stream a lot, and I put my cartridges up in it. Like as you can see, it's got the bottom part which removes for you to attach a cartridge, or you can put the dab chamber in there because it comes with a dab chamber, and it also comes with a nectar collector tip. So that's the dab chamber. I haven't used that yet, but after I've been using cartridges for a long time, it's starting to get sticky in there. I want to get a new one anyways. I want to get another one because I've been using the fuck out this. But I attached the nectar collector to it and started using that recently, and yeah, that shit works real good. And this device is only $55. The nectar collector works awesome. I burnt the fuck out of my tip, and I have another one coming in the mail. Damn, pause. That probably sounded real strange, but I'm basically gonna demo this and show y'all that it can definitely heat up concentrates, probably just as good as that other thing. And this is a tip that's been used for a while too. So my new one is probably gonna be here in a couple days. But it has some residue on it, so it's already gonna heat up. So yeah, for those that don't know, concentrate is really, really strong. It's basically when they run a process that removes all the frost from the leaves, especially if you grew a plant that's really fucking sticky. And a lot of people don't know this about outdoor plants, but outdoor plants getting that natural sunlight, your plants get really, really, really sticky. There's frosty, and then there's sticky. I be growing some sticky, sticky, sticky shit. And that's really the best type of bud to transfer into these things, concentrates. There's these things called rosin presses where you can grow a large amount of weed, put in a specific bag that's it's like a specific bag, kind of like a tea bag where things can still like filter through it like cheesecloth. You basically store a bunch of weed in there and press it with something that's similar to like a flat iron, and it basically applies heat and is pressing. And because of that, it basically gets all the frost on the leaves to heat up and melt outside of the bag into a sticky gummy like substance. And that shit is basically pure weed. So if you happen to dab or even nectar collector with a fresh nectar collector tip, it's that one hit is gonna feel like you hit a whole blunt straight up. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people sleep on it, because I saw a post recently on Instagram. Of course, again, I'm referring to Instagram. I'm no longer going to be using Instagram real soon. So that's the reason why I keep bringing up Instagram posts. I get a lot of good topics from Instagram, but that shit's a no-go. I forgot what I was talking about. I lost my train of thought. I had it and lost it again. But yeah, there was definitely something I saw on Instagram that, oh yeah, now I remember. So someone had an Instagram post, and it was basically breaking down the price of a cartridge. And generally across the country, cartridges are lots of times $10 more than getting concentrate. And here's an opportunity for me to educate our people on this. So the first time I ever saw these things, I didn't know what the fuck it was. I knew that one of them was rosin, which is basically when you do the heat press thing I was talking about, because I've seen rosin before. But the other ones, shatter, all them shits they showed in that puff coat thing, a lot of those I didn't know what those were. But eventually, when I worked in the cannabis industry, I had bought and purchased and tried each of them, and then learned about the processes of them being made. And these are things that this is a specific thing that shows how people like us were held out of this cannabis industry, because our people don't really know about this. We'll take rosin, for example. Rosin is when you press the plant with heat and it causes all the frost on the leaves to formulate into a sticky substance that melts outside of it. When heat is applied to that, it basically is kind of like this liquid that's in this vapor. But the vapor, the process of making that, it's a little bit different. But because it's more convenient, they charge a little bit more for it. And in lots of cases, I've seen it the other way around, where this costs a lot, but generally this is cheaper. And that's the reason why I put on my nectar collector and started using that again recently, because I got 2 cartridges, but like the pens, all that shit is fucking expensive. Like I need a device that's like this that does multiple. And plus, this thing has weight to it. This battery lasts a long time. Let me tell you one thing: if you're using it for vapes, that battery lasts for a cool minute, like probably, I want to say a couple of days. But I'm gonna wrap it up there. Concentrates, if you happen to have a device that can do concentrates, I definitely recommend giving it a go. If you do try concentrates, make sure that you are always at home and don't have to drive anywhere. Do not get behind the wheel on concentrates. Trust me, this shit is more lethal than alcohol. You will not be able to feel your muscles. If you've had a really rough day where you've been working like 8 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours, whatever the case may be, you want to lay down or sit down when you hit these concentrates. Trust me, you do not want to drive, you do not want to walk, you do not want to be doing anything of that matter. You want to be at home in a place where you can possibly lay down or go to sleep. Facts on that. So that is the magic school bus of the day. I'm gonna wrap it up there. I'm gonna close out of all this shit. If you ain't already liked and subscribed, do so, and be on the lookout. I'm about to stream something later. I've been streaming the last couple of days. It's Halloween. I was streaming Doom yesterday. We was getting it in. I might maybe stream that some other day, but if you ain't on my Twitch, check that out. If you have Spotify, click on the Spotify link I have on my page. Peep the community posts, go to the playlist, watch my Poltergeist Arcade. I've been adding videos to it still. Whenever I test games early, I put stuff up in there. I have breakdown videos. I'm about to do a breakdown video of Hunt Showdown real soon. They just added a new mode to it, which I haven't tried yet. I'm probably going to stream that, but I'm going to do a separate video where I'm breaking down things I have on Twitch from before when they updated the game, because now that the game's updated, all that footage and shit is the old game, so I might as well do a breakdown on it. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Peace out. I'm gonna do an album review soon. I'm just trying to figure out which one's next.